Hello and welcome back to the Pre-Shift podcast presented by 7 Shifts. My name is DJ and I'll be your host, bringing you everything you need to know about running better restaurants. On this episode, we're joined by Eric Scheffer of Scheffer Group in Asheville, North Carolina.
Hi, my name is Eric Scheffer, and I am the chef and owner of the Scheffer Group here in Asheville, North Carolina. I own currently 3 restaurants, 2 Vinny's Neighborhood Italian restaurants, and 1 restaurant called Jetty Ray's Oyster House.
Eric has been in the business for 24 years. His first restaurant in Asheville, The Savoy, opened in 2000 and enjoyed a decade-long run before closing. Coming out of the Great Recession, Eric went back to his Brooklyn roots and opened Vinny's Neighborhood Italian. Vinny's now has a second location, and Scheffer added Jetty Ray's Oyster House to the group in 2020. And when it comes to the crew, there are many faces that have been around since the Savoy days.
Like you said, most of my team have been with me for a very long time. My CFO and controller, Renee Hermanson, has been with me for 17 years. Josh Marsh has been at the bar of one of my restaurants for 10 years. And Sean Cudmore, who's my strategy, he's been with me for 9 years. I have a young, talented chef, Dean Boscovich, who was my culinary director for a while, is now the chef of my catering company for 8 years. Jordan Taylor is my catering director, has been with me for 7 years. And I think what's made our relationship successful are that the fact that I respect them as human beings. I try to be as kind as possible. Kindness is a very important thing. Inclusion. I don't make unilateral decisions very often. I include them in everything I do, but I make sure I have a very clear vision. I make sure that I give them a roadmap that makes sense. I take very good care of them financially, and I treat them all like family. And I care about their day-to-day lives as human beings and people, not just people that work for me. And I think that's a really important part of being a successful restaurateur. I always tell people that when you come to work for me, and I don't care if it's for a month or for, like I said, 10, 17 years, my job is to make you a better person first. My job is to make you think about who you are and how you act and how you treat people, and then to also make you better at what you do in whatever position you are in the restaurant or how you work for me. So if I can do that, and I can do that with kindness and with respect and with an overarching, I call it inclusion, but I try not to know I'm the owner, but I try to keep us all on the same level when we're working together and we're creating greatness.
Now, the word family gets thrown around a lot in restaurant conversations. It's an industry where lifelong bonds are formed, where closeness is born from the hard work it requires to be successful. But saying that your team is like a family has become a red flag to many, who find it is code for dysfunction and a toxic work environment. But Scheffer understands how to ensure that family does mean a culture of care.
I think that line has to be drawn with sincerity. You have to say it from a place of sincerity, which I think we do. I'm very clear with somebody. If you come into my restaurants and you're working for me in management, we're very clear on, you're going to work a 50-hour week sometimes. You're going to I'd like you to work a 45-hour week. But guess what? It's going to be up to you. It's going to be up to you how hard you work. It's going to be up to you how much you want to follow the systems we put into place to make your job easier, and how much you want to invest in yourself in being a good leader. That'll help you and help us keep very fair playing fields. When I talk about family, we currently have about 160 employees, or I do, and I have to go to bed every night and wake up every morning knowing that those people have to be provided for. And it sometimes keeps me up at night. And we provide a very healthy, we're not one of these bullshit companies that offer medical insurance but make you pay for it. We're paying 75% of all full-time employees' health insurance. I offer something called Lantern Health here in Asheville, which is available to anybody. And I pay for that now for anybody that works for me. You get it after 90 days, of course, but we have mental health accessibility towards mental health professionals, and we pay for that. You get dental, you get options of vision. I follow through on my word. I know what family is, and not to be so stereotypical, but you'd understand if you grew up Jewish or Italian or Irish or Polish and in Brooklyn, New York, you know what family's about. You take care of your friends and you take care of your family, and you keep them close to you.
And one of the ways that Scheffer Group takes care of their own is by offering health insurance to their team of 160. On average, the group spends $1,620 per employee per year on health and wellness-based benefits.
Full medical includes disability. Somebody takes off a finger, or God forbid the accident gets hurt, it provides disability for that individual and helps protect them and their family. We give them a savings card that we load, front-end loaded, with $250 on it that goes towards their dental or their eye. And that's there. We pay this $65 fee, which is a one-time, lifetime fee that buys the employee into a national, quite frankly, honored or recognized service for mental health. So if they leave me, they take this with them. They can continue accessing this affordable mental health program. That's wonderful. That's been set up here in the United States, and the name escapes me right now. But and then we offer this thing. We pay $65 an employee per month, and they have 24 hours, 7-day a week access to a doctor. They get free checkups 2 times a year. They get x-rays and they get lab work, some of it free and some of it discounted. Yeah, we do the best we can, and I think it's a very fair program for people.
Now, these health benefits weren't there from the beginning. As the restaurant industry evolved and Scheffer Group grew, it became something that was essential for success and a positive staff experience. But it didn't come all at once. The current system was built over time and took some tweaking and sacrifices to make it possible.
No, we didn't always offer it from the opening. And I shouldn't say I'm ashamed that I didn't. It just wasn't part of the model back then. And it's your first question, how's the industry changed? Okay, it just wasn't a model back then, but now certainly I'm required to do it now that I have over 50 employees. That's a federal requirement, but it's also something I wanted to build up to. In the beginning, I couldn't afford it. Insurance is very expensive, sadly.
That selflessness is critical to success in a people-driven business. When Scheffer talks about family, that's what he means. And he goes as far as to argue that if it's not something you can exemplify, then you might be in the wrong industry.
I see a lot of these restaurant owners that it's about the profit and it's not about the people. And so what ends up happening is you turn people off that way. And a lot of people should not be in the restaurant business. I do a lot of consulting, and I can't tell you how many people I talk out of getting into the restaurant business because they don't deserve to be in the restaurant business for a lot of reasons, but mostly because they're doing it for an ego play. They're not doing it for the passion of what it really means to be a culinarian. And so it's those people that create a really, quite frankly, shitty environment out there for servers and for people that work for them because they don't care. They're just looking to turn the buck, and they're just learning they just want to fill their ego, have their buddies and friends, but not really care about, what's going on with somebody that's washing dishes for $15 an hour. Everybody thinks they can own a restaurant. Everybody thinks they can cook, right?
What goes in hand with that is demanding a culture of excellence in oneself and in your team, putting systems in place to enable it.
Demanding excellence in myself and showing up every day for the people that work for me, creating an atmosphere of exceptional hospitality and teaching my staff what that really means. We train our staff, maybe to a fault too much, but we really develop people. And we treat everybody like individuals. So we look at each person and how we're going to develop this person differently than the person they're standing next to. I get everybody in my organization to embrace change. Change is constant, right? What's that saying? Change is constant, growth is optional. So I try to teach people how to embrace the change that's coming at you constantly every single day and make it your buddy and make it something that really inspires you to do something different every single day. I try to smile every day and make sure people realize that my intention is genuine, that I'm not there just to bullshit them, but I'm really there to do what I love, and being in service of people and coming in every day and feeding people is a blessing. And something that's very hard these days for people to understand is don't make it about the money. Don't walk in and, work the system so you get enough tables so your tips are great. Make it about yourself. Make it about how you present yourself to somebody else and bringing joy and showing gratitude for the fact that people are walking into your restaurants every single day. Embrace that. Help change somebody's life. You don't know what's going on in somebody's life when they walk through that door. They could have cancer, they found out today, or their mom just died, or they're celebrating a birthday. Why not you? Why not be the person that brings a smile to that table as soon as they sit down and bring some joy and show them the gratitude you have for them spending the time and coming and sitting at your table and letting them be generous with giving you a tip or so on and so forth.
But you can't ask for excellence and not reward it. In this case, back-of-house compensation gets the spotlight. Long has the balance in take-home pay gone to the serving staff in favor of the kitchen, and at Scheffer Group, they've been able to remedy that.
What we've done is we're very competitive with our hourly wages and our salaries, but we added a 3% kitchen appreciation fee to our menus. Now, it is optional. You can say, no, I do not want to pay this. And that's okay, too. I respect anybody that wants to do that. But I'd have to say that 98% of the people that walk through my restaurant stores don't have any qualms with doing so. And so what it does is allows me to serve you a plate of food at a fair price, depending on the restaurant you're in. It allows you to choose to up your bill by only 3%, right? And help contribute to the guys in the kitchen and the gals in the kitchen who, quite frankly, usually make less and work harder than anybody else in the entire kitchen. And generally, if I got somebody starting in the kitchen at $19 an hour, they're usually walking out at $22 an hour with the kitchen appreciation. And that's not a bad day's work.
But if there's one thing that sums up the approach at Scheffer Group, it's relentless generosity. From leadership to staff and from staff to guest. It's something that has been the key to their longevity and success.
One thing is relentless generosity. Something I teach every single day in my restaurants. You got to give, not give to get. Like I say, if you truly, we all got to pay our bills. So do I. But if you don't make it about the money and you really make it about how much joy you can bring to yourself and your life and others around you every single day, the rest comes. It really does. And I know it sounds a little out there, but I've proven it. I've proven it for myself. For many reasons, I owe it to the fact that I'm so, so grateful for the people that work for me, what they teach me, the people that walk through my doors every single day. And I make sure that everybody feels that around me. And so that's what I try to teach my staff, is to exemplify that.
Thank you for joining us for the Pre-Shift podcast presented by 7 Shifts. Be sure to follow us on social media for new episodes and bonus content. And as always, my inbox is open, dj@7shifts.com. Let me know what you think of the show, who you want to hear, or just say hello. We'll see you next time.